Welcome back to another episode of Cinema Society Saturday, and I'm Gus from Askewed Reviews. Now, if you don't know what Cinema Society Saturday is, let me tell you more about it. This is something where a bunch of us online who absolutely love horror movies have all come together. We then each week are randomly given a theme, we then partner up, give our partner a movie that fits within the theme, and then we review those films for all of you. Now, I actually ended up with two partners for this week, and if you watched my earlier review, you know what the theme for this week was. But just in case you didn't, it of course is Halloween. So these are movies that either are about or take place on the holiday. And my second partner for this week was Genesee. And if you're not already following her, definitely go and do so. I absolutely love her content. She's so much fun to watch as she does real-time reviews, or at least, pieces together her reaction as she's watching the movies. And let's see if we can try to get her up to 5,000 followers. So for this week's theme, Genesee gave me the movie of WNUF Halloween Special. This is a 2013 film, but if you've ever stumbled upon it, you may not think that it is, as it definitely is set up as a 1987 special. Let me tell you a bit more about the movie to see if this is something that you'd like to check out for yourselves. So, as I mentioned, this movie comes off as a 1987 broadcast by a news channel called WNUF. Throughout the vast majority of the movie, it really does feel like someone just recorded this on a VHS tape of them watching the news. You, of course, have these two news anchors that are fully dressed up in Halloween regalia, and they are just talking about the local news, the events that are happening. And throughout this entire broadcast, we also get some very, very cliche commercials from that time period. Things about carpeting, things about local politics, television series that you could watch that are currently on during that time. And I will say this, as someone who grew up in the 80s, this feels spot on to what what watching television felt like around Halloween night. What's great about it also is that none of these were commercials actually from the 80s. Everything in this movie was created for the film, and they do a very good job at kind of like digitally de-aging it to make it feel like it was in the 80s. Every commercial, preview, and segment also is so perfect. Like the music that they use, the clothing, just everything that's on the screen absolutely felt like the 80s. Throughout the movie, there's one segment that keeps coming up that seems to be where our plot is going to, and that's involving a newscaster named Frank Stewart, who keeps talking about the fact that he is going to be having a seance with some professionals in a home where a grisly incident happened years ago. Joining Frank, we have two paranormal investigators, Dr. Louis Berger and his wife Claire Berger, along with their cat Shadow, who apparently is attuned to the supernatural, and a priest who is supposedly trained in exorcism. So I will say this, the movie is definitely a slow burn. There's a lot of this nostalgia feel that eventually does have a payoff that is involving that story with Frank Stewart. Some really creepy and strange things begin to start happening to Frank and his crew. But I'll leave it there as it's definitely something that you should witness for yourself. So, in my own opinion, I thought this was a really cool concept, but I don't know if it needed the length that it had. Mind you, a lot of my issue with it is probably just the fact that I do have ADHD, and the nostalgia was awesome. And it really did keep me fascinated for a while, but it almost went on a bit too long for me. And like I said, there definitely is a payoff with the movie that I enjoyed, but at least for me, I'm going to give this movie a 2 out of 5. You might enjoy this way more than I did, so I definitely do recommend checking it out. So if you'd like to see this one for yourself, it is currently streaming for free on AMC Plus and Shudder. What's funny though is, so the day before I was assigned this movie, I was at Walmart and I saw this movie sitting on the shelf and I thought about getting it. And then I was like, well, maybe another time. And then once this was assigned to me, I was like, okay, well, now I have to buy it. And of course, once more, I am going to mention that you should definitely go and start following Genesee. Not just because of her great content, but you can also check out the movie that I give her to review, which was the 2017 film, The Terror of Hallows Eve. I hope you enjoyed my review for WNUF Halloween Special. And if you'd like to see what everyone else did for their Halloween themed movies, just look up the hashtag Cinema Society Saturday. Also, if you haven't already, check out the review that I did earlier today.